Well, hello everybody. I'm Dan Blake, and tonight we're going to do an Instapot meal. Quick and easy beef and noodles. Make this all the time. My daughter will call from Cedar Rapids, and she'll want beef and noodles for supper, and she calls me at 4:45, and so usually by 6:45, we're eating beef and noodles. But to speed things up, I already got this going. But I'll show you the process. And because it takes about 20 minutes to get heated up, and then 30 minutes to cook, and then about 20 minutes to depressurize on its own. So maybe at the end of it, I'll speed up the pressure reducer so we can see it a little bit sooner. Is there any quick questions before we get started? Perfect. Okay. So here is my Instapot, but we will pretend. And for the quick part of the prep, just to show everybody how I do it, take a full onion. I'm not Emerald Lagasse, so I can't go real fast. Or Martha Stewart. But I just take the onion and I cut it in half, then I cut it in thirds, and I cut it in thirds again. So we get our onion chunks. And I like mushrooms. And so I usually take the mushrooms, these baby bellas, and I cut them in thirds when I do it, and because I like big chunks, or half if it's a smaller one. And we will have the recipe posted when it's all done and said, so you can follow the recipe if you like. And then I usually put in this batch 5 cloves of garlic, what I dice up, and I got them pre-diced. And then you add that, and I got a garlic press, and I figured out if I use the garlic press, I use less garlic because it's more intense. I haven't figured out the reasoning behind that, but so I just dice it up small. And I like to use fresh rosemary, and thanks to one of my neighbors, they're missing a little fresh rosemary. And I pull that off from the top down. Then it comes off real easy. I don't know how clear that is on the TV, on the computer. Then I dice that up so it's in smaller pieces. Oh, there you go. And I add the fresh rosemary to it. My seasonings, I just come up with my own concoction. And I like smoked paprika. So I put in about a tablespoon of smoked paprika. I just use my hand for my measuring cup. I've done enough of that. And even though I got onions in here, I like onion powder. I'll do about a tablespoon of onion powder. And it seems kind of crazy that you want onion powder, even though you got onions, but it just adds that much better flavor. And I got some sage, because I like sage. And leafy thyme. That's what I needed today, was more thyme. And then I kind of crunch that up my fingers as I put it in. It helps release the oil. And fresh pepper. And I like this all-purpose seasoning. It's a Greek seasoning. It has a lot of good flavors in it. And then salt, I usually wait to do my salt after it's cooked because the salt will dry out the meat a bit. And I stopped at our local store. I won't say its name. And I bought chuck roast. And so I will add the chuck roast.
Did they already cut that up for you?
Yes, I got this pre-cut, but usually whatever roast is on sale, the arm, the chuck, or the shoulder, I'll buy the whole one myself, and then I dice it up into inch cubes. And because with the pressure cooker, it doesn't matter which roast you get, it's going to come out falling apart and super tender. And then, so you add all this to your Instapot, and there's a saute button here on my Instapot, and which can, you leave the lid off, and then you brown your meat for about 20 minutes or 10 minutes. But I usually don't. I just throw it in. And then I add 3 cans of beef broth. I won't show the brand name. And then I add 3 cans of beef broth to it. And then I add my noodles. And I use frozen noodles. And this is a 24-ounce bag of frozen noodles. And then I add my frozen noodles on top of my mixture. Then I stir it up and put the lid on it and put it in the lock position. And then I close the pressure valve so no steam can come out. And then I set my timer. I go to meat stew, and then I set my timer to 30 minutes, and then I press start. And then it takes about 15 to 20 minutes before it builds up pressure. And then when it starts to build up pressure, you know it because the pressure valve starts to rattle. And then you just sit and wait until it's cooked. And then the beeper will go off after 30 minutes once the pressure's up. And then I let it naturally depressurize because they say, plus it cooks for that much more longer instead of releasing the pressure instantly. Yes, it's starting to talk to me. And that's about it on that. Is there any questions? Oh, I will tell you this. If I always use frozen noodles, because if you use homemade noodles or dried noodles, all that'll do is thicken up your broth, because when you take the lid off, there'll be no noodles in there. It'll all just have disappeared. And I have a couple Instapot cookbooks, like you could even get at your local library. And they have a lot of good recipes in these. Pulled pork is excellent in it. Ribs are good in it. You can take pork chops, throw in it with potatoes and can of cream of mushroom soup, and set the cook time for 25 minutes. And total time's probably right at an hour. And so then you got an awesome meal there.
So even though it's called an instant pot, it's not an instant meal.
Right. Yes, it still takes time. And when they first came out with them, I just thought, I'm not going to buy one of them. It's just a pressure cooker. But actually, it does a lot more than just pressure cook. You can do rice in here. You can make yogurt, soups, stews. And actually, whatever you cook on your stove, you can cook in this. And it's starting to, I don't know if you can hear that noise. Ooh. that noise, but it's definitely building pressure up in there right now. And it smells good already.
It does.
Hey,
So
Dan, how much beef did you put in?
I put in 2 pounds of diced up chuck roast in inch cubes. And I put in 4 cups of beef broth, a package 24-ounce frozen noodles, and I put in my all-purpose Greek seasoning, tablespoon of sage, tablespoon of thyme, and a tablespoon of smoked paprika, because I love smoked paprika, and a tablespoon of onion, and some pepper. But I'm going to wait to add the salt after it's cooked, because then, well, I think if you add your salt while it's cooking, it's going to dry your meat out. That's my theory. And, but yeah, so you just place the meat on the bottom, and then, or meat and veggies, just mix it together. And you can saute it, and that'll just brown the meat. And plus it helps the cooking time not as long because you're already pre-cooking the meat. Then I add my dry seasonings. Then I add my frozen noodles. And then after my frozen noodles are in, then that's when I add the broth and all that. And then set it for 30 minutes. And then let the pressure reduce. And some of the side notes, what I put down was frozen noodles are the best ones to use because they hold up better under pressure. Is anybody thinking Queen's song right now?
Yes.
When I wrote this down, I started to laugh. And so, and then I add my salt after the meat's cooked, and you can add fresh veggies to this also. Frozen veggies are all right, but they come out pretty mushy. So like your carrot, celery, and zucchini will disappear in it because that has happened. And the batch, what I got making here, will feed 6 people easily with leftovers. And we like to buy the biscuits in that short little round can, but you smack on the side of the table and cook them up. And I put this stew over top of the biscuits. I can act like a cowboy.
Talk a little bit about, you said when you first started making it, that you kept opening it up.
Yes. And my first couple times when I was using this, I put things in, I followed the directions, and I pushed meat, set my time, push start, and just the letters HESE came up on the screen, and I was there like, it must not be on. So then I'd shake the lid, and there wasn't that much pressure yet. So I'd take the lid off, and everything would stop. And I'd put the lid back on, and I'd go through the starting process. And so finally I left it alone, and after about 20 minutes, the steam started, and then the clock started. So then I knew that it was up and running. And then I finally read the directions too, and that helped. But so now we got 29 minutes. I wish this was kind of like on the professional cooking shows where I could just reach under and have the done product. I was hoping to do that, but that didn't happen.
Dan, have you ever made yogurt in the Instapot?
No,
Okay.
no, but I hear it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try sticky rice in it.
Cool.
And because my daughter got me hooked on that, and so now I'm making that quite a lot. And let's see, what else have we cooked? Oh, that's here for chicken and noodles is awesome in this also, and it doesn't take much time. And if you use chicken breast, the breast meat isn't dry at all. And
Do you ever use the saute function? Do you like to use that?
Yes, and I have used the saute function before because I ran out of stovetop, and so I wanted onions sauteed up with some celery in it, and so I used this to do that. And plus, I wanted to play with it a little bit, and so that helped. And it's real easy to clean. The top comes off, and there's just a seal around the top, and you can take that out, and you can submerge the top in water, and then the inner pan comes out. And so that's real easy to clean, and nothing's stuck to it yet. So, anybody have any ideas? 27 minutes.
Is there anything else that you want to make that you haven't made yet?
Boy, I'm kind of like a 6 or 7 meal person with this. I haven't really thought of anything else to make.
You told me a story one time that you like to go to the grocery store and buy what's on sale. And
Yes.
Experiment.
Yes.
Can you tell us about some of those times?
Well, oh yes, I done gizzards in it once. I went to the store trying to figure out what to play with it. So I put gizzards in it, and they were the superest, tenderest gizzards I've ever had in my life. And so between two of us, we ate like 2 pounds of gizzards, which was really good.
That explains a lot, Dan.
Yes, it does. My cardiologist wasn't very happy. I was telling him how good they were. Or what we're going to do is, I hate to do this, but we're going to pause for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. So in 15, 20 minutes, you'll see me again.
Everyone, we're back.
Hello, everybody. We're back. I lost 52 pounds since we've been off the air. No, well, our Instapot, we're down to 6 minutes cooking, and it smells really, really good. And so what we're going to do is when it finally shuts off, I'm going to give it probably 2 more minutes, but then I'm going to do a rapid release with the steam, and that'll just stop the cooking process, and instead of waiting the 20 minutes for the cool down, and just to speed the show up so we don't have another break. We should have had some cartoons or something on. But so on our break, did anybody think of any questions?
What's the difference between rabbit release?
Again? Yes.
Oh, the difference between rapid release and natural cool down, the natural one, the crock pot itself, it just depressurizes itself, and that takes about 20 minutes. And the rapid release, I stick a spoon in there and I pop the valve, and all the steam comes shooting out. And I've heard that's not a real good way of doing it, but it works. And so to speed up the time, I think that's what I'm going to do, so we don't have another 20-minute intermission. Well, while this is cooking, I'd like to give a shout out to our guys over in Qatar, to Colin and Jack, some really good friends of ours. young guys. And actually, Colin dates my daughter. And Jack is the grandson of my daughter's babysitter when she was little. They're the 133rd Alpha Company, Iowa National Guard. And what time is it over there? Okay, it's like 5 a.m. over there, and Elizabeth just sent Colin a text saying to watch this, so maybe they're watching.
Actually, it's 3:15.
Oh, it's 3:15 a.m. So he's up awful early over there tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's in the
So,
everywhere. Yeah.
We are down to 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Whoa.
Woo-hoo. So I don't know if can you see like all the buttons what are on there? It's a little more.
We're gonna move the camera so maybe they can see.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, like when I set it, there's just meat and stew button here, what I pressed. And if you're making like bean soup or chili, you have your own button. And then that calculates the temperature on its own. And then there's a slow cooker like crock pot. And there's a steam feature on there for like for green beans. That works really well. I haven't tried sweet corn in it yet. Then there's a keep warmer. There's a brown and saute, and that's what I use if you want to brown your meat first or sautés up some onions and garlic, carrots and celery. And then there's a soup one on there, and that works good for like chicken and noodle soup, and then you throw your vegetables in, and that comes out just awesome.
Does that automatically set the time then, Dan?
No, it all these buttons do is set the temperature, and then plus you got a manual high, and then you can change the temperature also by just pushing the low or high button. And then these two buttons are to set your timer. And it's all pretty easy after about 5 or 6 times of cooking with it. And I haven't burnt nothing in it yet or blown up the house.
And have you ever done eggs in it, like boiled eggs?
No, I have not.
I've always wondered because you still have to wait for it to pressurize, so it seems like it wouldn't be very effective in terms of time. But
Right, yep. And then it just went beep, beep, beep. So now it's on its own cycle of a cool down. And so I'll just let it do some of that on its own. And dry throat.
I see it also has a function you can delay the timer.
Yes.
So you could set it and have it go on in an hour or something.
Yes. Yep. Kind of like, a delay timer. So like if you can put the stuff in it like a crock pot and set it to start at a certain time, and then it does. Yeah. But they call it an Instapot, and some people are really confused with that because they get home and they want to cook a supper really, really quick. And then most things take about an hour or a little bit better to cook. And that's really not instant, but.
So now it's counting back up. Is that
Yes.
tell you how long it's been depressurizing?
Yes, yep. So, and then it'll get to 20 minutes and then it'll go beep, beep, beep. But for the video's sake, I will do a quick pressure release. So it'll make a little noise, but and then it'll steam. But then we can, I'm gonna stop the process, and I'm gonna do a quick pressure release, and then we can see the finished product sooner. And getting a facial with this isn't good. I hear the Jeopardy tune. But yeah, that shows all the amount of pressure what was in there, and it smells really good right now.
That's the only downside of having a virtual food program is that we can't share it with everyone.
Yes. It just leaves more for us. No. It smells really, really, really good.
Okay.
As they say on TV, too bad we don't have smell-o-vision.
I don't know why our chipmunk went now. We've had that 15 straight ground squirrel.
I kind of wish there would have been a pressure gauge on it to show you what your pressure is at. But, oh well. It's almost down. I can still hear it. And the lid doesn't want to move all that easily. The bobber valve, I haven't heard that drop yet. It just dropped. So that means that the pressure is.
That was a nice loud click.
Yes.
You could hear it.
Yep. And so when the pressure is gone, the bobber valve, it just went, you heard it. I don't know if you could hear it on there or not, but I'm still a little leery. So I shake the lid, and this always makes me nervous. Even when it pressurizes itself. Oh yeah. The stir. Oh yeah. Well, we will.
Yeah, go ahead.
We will get a plate, and I will show you what the final product does look like with onions, mushrooms, and beef. Trying to find some of them good mushrooms. But
Wow.
that's what it looks like. Yeah, we will.
This plastic silverware, we're really fancy tonight.
Yeah. We have the COVID silverware throwaway. Like, here's one of the mushrooms, and it didn't shrink much at all. And the beef, and it's well, we got a little plastic, but it just falls right apart easily. And the noodles, and there's another. Mushrooms are the best part, I think. There's another huge mushroom, and the onions, they, I don't know if you can see that, but the onions, they cooked up really well, very translucent, but that is the, and then if you do want salt, because I didn't salt it, add a little, and voila. So that is the easy beef and noodles. And so the real total cook time would have been probably 20 after.
Yeah, it was done cooking at about 20 after.
Okay, so it was done cooking about 20 after. So if I didn't do the rapid release, that would have been another 15 to 20 minutes. So the total time was probably about an hour and 10 minutes from start to finish.
That was it's full when
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, it's full. Can you lift that and
Yeah.
show it? We will do a top view with our fancy camera, but that's the view of it inside. And yeah, so I hope that made you guys hungry because we're hungry now.